Grief. That was a big topic at the Defiantly Joyful Workshop Weekend held at Hope Flower Farm in Waterford, Virginia. There was an incredible turnout and amazing practitioners, amazing people, attendees that gathered, lots of sharing, lots of tears, lots of laughs. And in reflection, since I've been back home, I have thought about grief in in terms of there's grief that's very known. Someone dies, there's grief, sadness, maybe even despair. A miscarriage happens. Again, there's that, it makes sense. People can understand that. That's tangible for them. But things like a parent who's physically present but has Alzheimer's or dementia, and that person that we know is gone. This I call it pre-grieving. You're grieving before, I think the actual psychological term is anticipatory grief, but you're grieving the loss of the person even though the person is physically still there. And then there's grief around the loss of dreams and a hope for the future with someone, for instance, with divorce or what I call disentanglement. I recall when I would tell people right after I moved to Florida and I started this whole new chapter of my life that I was here due in part because my marriage did not work out, that we ended up going in different directions. And everyone's response on the whole was, I'm sorry. And I know that I would say the exact same thing to people. And I realized that, yes, there is a level of grief and sadness around the end of a relationship. And it's also a starting point. It's also a new beginning. And allowing ourselves to have that grief and realize that it may come in waves. So I know for me, there are times I feel so incredibly exhilarated by this new chapter of my life. And there are times when I feel so deeply sad and nostalgic for what was and what could have been. And so allowing yourself to have those waves of emotion and leave space for all of it. Because even in the realm of the death of a loved one, there is room for joy around their memory. There's room for joy in the magical moments when they may appear to you in the form of an animal messenger, or a scent, or a feeling that they're there. And I find myself, even in the case of divorce or disentanglement, having these moments, these memories that pop in where I feel, and I can feel it now, just tuning into that, of joy and happiness and contentment and love for the blessings that I had in my marriage and with my not anymore husband and my kids, and that we can come together in a new way. And it's not the same, but it can also be really beautiful. So I guess I would just like to leave you with the thought of grief as an ever-changing, ongoing unfolding of emotions that run the gamut from deep sadness to profound joy, maybe in an instant in some cases, but there's always a place where we can lean back and rest in the knowing that we're not the only ones, regardless of what the reason is for the feelings that we have, that there is somebody else that might be feeling similarly to us. And maybe it's sharing our stories with each other and being in community and being able to share things that we're a salve for our wounds with someone else that could be just what they need to hear. So I will close with something I say all the time. We learn from one another. So please do share with someone you think may benefit, and share your stories. Share your experiences with people, and you never know what you might also hear from them that could be exactly what you need to hear at exactly the right time. Ciao for now.